Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. Have you ever wondered at the names that motor manufacturers dream up for their vehicles, trying to find a new catchy name for a new model? Well, years ago there was a van that was called a Sherpa van, and people understood that. Sherpa gave the impression this was a hard worker. This was a van that could carry a heavy load. This was a van that would keep on going and not break down. And the reason why people got that meaning from the name was because of a tribe of people called the Sherpas who live in the Himalayas. Sherpa literally means the people of the east. And they're a tribe of people that live in Nepal, in the Himalayan mountains, and live at altitude and generally have produced some amazing mountaineers. In fact, anyone who wants to go mountaineering in the Himalayas, particularly Mount Everest, for example, you're going to want to have some Sherpas along with you because they are really going to help you climb the mountain successfully. And some Sherpas themselves have done amazing achievements in mountain climbing. There's a lady called Lakpa Sherpa. She's over 50 years old. And this woman, she's the first, in 2000, she became the first woman to ever climb up Mount Everest and make it down again in one piece. And over the next 22 years, she climbed Mount Everest 10 times. She's climbed Mount Everest more than any other woman on earth. And yet she's not a wealthy woman. Despite this amazing achievement, I watched a documentary about her on Netflix once, and she works at the deli counter in a local supermarket and lives in a small apartment with her daughters. Then there's another Sherpa called Norye Roji Sherpa. And he is just 18 years of age, and he has already climbed the world's 14 highest mountain peaks, including Everest. Makes him the youngest person ever to do that. I saw an interview with this young man. Amazing achievement for somebody 18 years of age. Incredible. And he made a point. He said, if I was a Westerner and I'd climbed these mountains, I would be a rich man. He said, I'd be able to go and give after-dinner speeches all around the place, and crowds of people would pay big money to hear me share about my experiences. He said, but because I'm a Sherpa, there's very little financial rewards for doing something like this. I thought how unfair that is. That because of somebody's ethnicity, because of their background, because they come from a relatively poor people living in the mountains of the Himalayas, even if they achieve the same achievements, they will receive less reward and less recognition than those who come from a more privileged background. The very fact to have an Irishman climbing Mount Everest is still a reason people will flock to hear them, their story, and hear their account of how that happened. And yet here's this guy, a Sherpa, who's done so much more, and yet is not recognized for it. You see, life is unfair. There are things that you can do and you're in the limelight and everybody knows your name. And then there are other people who do things that are just as significant and perhaps more important, and yet we never remember their names. It's like that in the Church of Jesus Christ. We're not in this for recognition. We're not in this, or nobody should be in this, to make a name for themselves. We're in this to serve Jesus. We're in the church to lift up the name of Jesus Christ and bring people into a relationship with God, not to make a name for ourselves. In fact, in the Bible, in the New Testament, in 3 John chapter 1, verse 9, the Apostle John warns against a guy called Diotrephes, and he says of him, he loves the preeminence. He loves to be in the limelight. I want to encourage you today, don't seek the limelight. Don't seek the applause of men. Don't seek to make a name for yourself. The fact is that God has a position of glory and honor waiting for each one of us that is way, way, way beyond anything recognition this world can ever offer us, or anything in this lifetime. So don't seek the limelight. Don't love the preeminence. And maybe your name will be on everybody's lips, and maybe it won't. But that's not the important thing. The most important thing of all is at the end of our race, we hear God say to us, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." God bless you today. Join us again tomorrow for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.